defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Katurgis, would you like to call your next witness?
Yes, the defense will call Tonya Pearson.
All right. Good afternoon. You raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Good. Have a seat. Counsel, your witness.
State your name for the record, please. Could you state your name for the record, please?
I'm Tonya Pearson.
And what is your relationship to Spencer Pearson?
I'm his mom.
I'm not going to go back over the testimony that your husband gave, but is it fair to say that your son suffered from social anxiety from a young age?
Yes.
And the judge has already heard about that situation. So again, I don't want to rehash it. But did there come a time that you perceived that his condition worsened?
Yes, in high school, I'd say 11th grade.
And was there a precipitating event because of that that caused that?
We noticed a difference after he'd been really sick with COVID. And I don't know, just the stress of getting older and being in high school and trying to succeed in school.
Did that create more anxiety for him?
I believe so.
Now, before we get started in our questions, is there anything you would like to say? And if so, now's
Yes.
the time to say.
I'd like to address the victims. For so long, I've wanted to be able to speak to you all. Kennedy, thank you. You not only saved Madison's life, her mama, also my son. Thank you. Madison. I'm so sorry what you had to go through. And I pray that you are healed in every single way that you need healing and you recover 100%. And finally, Jacki, from my mama's heart to yours, I thought of you, how you tried to save her. You're a good mom, and none of you deserve this. I pray God to give you each healing, complete healing. And we're sorry. So sorry.
Would you like to take a moment to compose yourself? Again, I'm not going to go into the details of the breakup and the relationship with Madison. What I'd like to ask you about today is how your family responded to the knowledge that Spencer was deteriorating mentally. When did you first become acutely aware that Spencer was suffering from mental distress?
It was at the very end of March. We could see that the relationship was going downhill and that he was being very withdrawn and not eating. So much so that Dan and I would take turns going to school at lunchtime just to take him some food to make sure he'd eat something. But we knew once the breakup happened, like most parents, you've got a broken heart and you're going to be okay. You know? You'll get through this.
And did there come a time that you realized that Spencer was not just going to be able to get through this on his own?
Yes, we started trying to get him into therapy. We went through our insurance and called numerous people. We were told there was a 3-month waiting period, sometimes a 6-month waiting period, or they weren't taking new patients. And we struggled to find health care, mental health care. That is how we ended up going to Here Tomorrow, because we were desperate to get him in to speak to somebody, and we thought that we would get help there, and they quickly were able to see him.
Did you think they were professional? Did you think they were professional?
I thought it was a therapist. Yes.
And he goes to Here Tomorrow, and what happens after the first time he goes to Here Tomorrow?
I believe he saw them on April 13th. On April 17th is when he tried to take his life.
And again, I'm not going to get into details of that because the judge is very well aware of that occurrence. But needless to say that you sat in the courtroom and you heard your husband's testimony, and what you saw and experienced and saw with your son is what your husband testified to.
Yes, it is.
Now, after Spencer attempts to hang himself, he's taken to Baptist, correct?
That's
and
right.
He's kept there for a period of time. And then he's sent home. And he's sent home, and what was your understanding of what you were supposed to be doing to try to keep this young man on track?
We were given discharge paperwork, and we were to call that Monday morning. He was discharged on a Saturday. We were to call Monday morning to get him in for outpatient services.
And did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the result of that?
A lady on the other end of the line told me that she was sorry, but she did not have room for him as a patient. And I questioned, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't understand. She said, there is no room for him.
Is it true that Spencer left the hospital with medication?
Yes.
Is it also true that Spencer just continued that medication?
Yes.
And had Spencer had difficulty swallowing pills before this event?
Yes. Before this event, before he went into Baptist Health, he was unable to take a pill.
And so how was his medicine administered?
He had learned while in the hospital to take the pill.
So that's the first time he learned how to take a pill was when he was in the hospital. Prior to that time, his medication was administered or liquid.
Right.
And Spencer comes home, and what does he tell you about the medication?
He says that he was having pounding headaches with it, and he did not feel well on the medication, and he had continued taking it for several days, maybe even 4 or 5 days.
Now, during this time while he's on medication, are you still attempting to locate health care for him?
Yes.
And can you describe for the court what you did?
Again, just calling, and then we started going into not our insurance plan, trying to get out-of-pocket pay, friends who knew someone, and again, we kept running into no availability. We do not see him because he's now 18, or we have, a 3 to 6 month waiting period.
What was Spencer like during this period of time while you're trying to get him mental health care?
He was very depressed.
And when you say very depressed, can you describe what a typical day would have been for Spencer?
He was on the couch. He would not go upstairs to his room.
Did he ever go back to his room after he attempted suicide?
Rarely, to grab some clothes.
Did he ever sleep there again?
No, he did not.
Excuse me for interrupting. So you're continuing to make calls, and you're continuing to have no luck. Now, isn't it true that there was a follow-up visit with a psychiatrist at Baptist that was not attended?
Correct.
And what was the reason for that?
It was for medication renewal, I suppose, or regulation to get more meds.
So it was your understanding that the purpose for the psychiatrist was for medication, not for therapy?
Correct.
After Spencer attempted suicide, did he ever attend school again?
Never.
Did he attend prom?
He did not.
Did he attend graduation?
He did not.
Did he have any friends though?
He did not.
Did he have any friends?
No one checked on him.
Was he still doing social activities?
He was not.
How was Spencer with the family?
Very reserved, very quiet.
Now, in response to this, what did you and your husband do in terms of trying to care for your son or oversee your son during this period of time?
My husband canceled business trips to make sure that he could be there with Spencer. We tried to be there for him, and always somebody home to be with him, to talk with him, to be around.
Where is your bedroom located in the house?
Our bedroom is downstairs.
And after this attempt, where did Spencer sleep?
He slept on the couch.
And why was that?
The memory of what he had tried to do, and I think it was a coping mechanism. Also, to be close to us.
Is that one reason you wanted him on the couch?
Absolutely.
So that you could observe him?
His dad would check on him. He wakes frequently, and we were so worried. He would go in often during the night to check on him, and sometimes just lay down beside him.
Now, at the time that this was happening, what was your concern about Spencer?
We were concerned he was going to try to commit suicide.
We've heard about Chubby's, and we've heard about it. Apparently, it's a fairly popular place in the neighborhood, and I believe Spencer and Madison went, but also your husband and Spencer went there quite frequently, did they not?
They did. That was their place. They loved to go there and watch any sporting event and eat chicken wings together. That was frequented sometimes 3 times a week to watch a sporting event.
On the day of this tragic incident, did Spencer wake up the same as he had been?
Yes, very sad.
And did there come a time that he told you he wanted to go somewhere?
Yes.
And where did he tell you he wanted to go?
I was out in the yard working, and I saw his truck backing out, and I asked him, I waved him down. I said, where are you going? He said he was going to the beach. And he stopped and put the car in park. He wasn't in a hurry, just very sad. And I asked him if he wanted to take our puppy with him. And I was glad he was going to the beach to get out and maybe get some fresh air, and he's off the couch.
Did you see that as a hopeful sign?
I did. I did.
Did Spencer have his phone with him that day?
He did not.
And why did he not have that phone?
We had taken it earlier in the week. Once Jackie had notified me about him making the fake accounts, we took it and it was in our possession.
And you and Jackie had some communication during this period of time. And she was very loving and helpful and caring and relaying information to you about your son's condition, correct?
She was.
How did you learn about what happened at Chubby's?
Jackie called me. She told me what happened. And she told me to hurry and get there because she didn't know Spencer was going to make it.
And did you in fact go there?
We did.
And when you went there, was Spencer there?
Yes.
And you were there when he was life-flighted to Shands?
We were.
And you saw the events that occurred, or the aftermath of the events that occurred that day?
The aftermath, yes.
Do you know the extent of the injuries that your son committed on himself?
Until very recently, no. The medical doctors would not talk to us.
And was that because of his age? And because he did not have the ability to consent to the HIPAA regulations. So you were in the dark about what was occurring.
We were.
And have you now learned the extent of his injuries, his self-imposed injuries?
I believe I have a grasp of that now.
And would you, based on what you have now been told by the doctors, would you characterize these as a feigned attempt at suicide?
Absolutely not.
And is that because of the extent and nature of his injuries?
Yes.
I don't have anything further.
Any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You can return to your seat. Mr. Petraeus.